my name is Random Precision and this is episode 2 of my Brood War tutorial series. In this episode I'm gonna be talking about how to queue commands, special interactions and inconsistencies about it. To understand how queuing commands works, basically any command that is shown in the first or second rows can be queued after any action. If the command is in the third row, it overwrites any previously given order and takes effect immediately. The game has a limit of 8 additional actions to the one that the unit is currently performing. First interaction is with the patrol command. In Brood War, if you give units multiple patrol commands, they will be received as waypoints, which means you can make them patrol in different shapes. To perform this trick, you need to tell the unit to do something, and before the action finishes, give the unit many patrol commands, queuing them. For example, I'm gonna send this science vessel here, and before he arrives, I'm gonna give him 3 waypoints, and he will patrol in a triangle. Like so. This is mostly used in a real game to patrol many mineral formations with one unit and keep track of the opponent's expansions. Next, when you give orders to siege tanks, there are a few inconsistencies. The first one is that when the tank is sieging, you can give him an attack order and you don't even need to press shift because he will do it as soon as possible anyways. The second one is that when the tank is sieged, he cannot receive queued attack commands. Instead, he will switch targets immediately. For example, if I siege the tank, tell him to shoot the barracks and then the gateway, he will shoot the gateway immediately. Like so. This can happen in a real game when you are trying to snipe important units, for example Lurkers, defilers, dragoons that are behind zealots. In all of those situations, you need to manually target each unit. Next is that when you give orders to lurkers that are unburrowing or tanks that are unsieging, they will ignore the orders. However, there are 2 exceptions. The first one is that if you tell lurkers that are burrowed to attack a building under the fog of war, when they unburrow, they will walk towards the building, like so. And in the tank department, if you give an attack order to a tank that is unsieging and the target is inside his range, he will attack the target. However, if the target is outside the range, he will just ignore the order. This happens because when the target is outside the range, there is a movement component to the order, and because he is unsieging, he is not able to move, so the game just ignores your input. For example, I'm gonna tell this tank to unsiege and attack these barracks, and he does, like so. Now I'm gonna do the same with this tank, and he will just sit there, like so. The lurker trick is not very useful in a real game, but can be used to save time sometimes. Whereas the tank is much more useful because sometimes when you have units too close to the tank, you may want to unsiege your tanks and tell them to attack a specific unit that is high priority or that is the weaker one. In this case, you can do this with one action and go back to do something else. One thing that's related to the first episode but I forgot to include is that if you have lurkers or queens selected with other units and you give them an attack order on terrain, they will just move there. However, if the attack order is given to a building or unit, they will do nothing, like so. In real games, it's important to pay attention so that your important units do not fall behind. Next is that you can utilize queuing commands to better use shield batteries. In Brood War, if you tell a unit to move to an allied building it will move as close as possible to the building, but if you tell it to move to the building and then kill another command, it will only get close enough to take a look at the building and then do something else, which means that in the case that you have units that don't have full shields as well as units that do, you can tell them to go to the shield battery and then give them another order, which will make the units that already have full shields to not get too close to the battery. Like so. Next, I'm gonna talk about the medic and how the healing ability works. Basically, if you tell the medic to go somewhere with the healing ability, she will go there and heal any units that are on her way. However, this ability has a counterintuitive mechanic, which is that if the medic doesn't find any targets to heal, you can kill many healing abilities. On my way. Like so. However, as soon as she finds one target, she will only perform the healing ability that she is performing now and then stop and not do anything else. For example, if I tell her to come here with the healing ability, she will heal this marine and then stand here, and if I kill another healing ability here, she will not perform it. You can, however, kill abilities in the first 2 rows normally. Like so. Now I'm gonna talk about a few interactions with workers. The first is that although you can kill an action after you tell the worker to build something, you can't kill an action after you tell the worker to finish a building, even though the actions are still showing in your command sheet. This is because, as was discussed in episode 1, the command sheet does not update until the worker reaches the building, or you select it again. To demonstrate, I'm gonna tell this worker to finish the supply depot, and I'm gonna select him again, and you can notice that no actions will be available anymore. Orders received. Like so. In this case, that's the reason why I can't queue any more actions. Next, I'm gonna show you how to use the return cargo command to take workers out of the gas, transfer them to another base, or to do a worker rush. As you can see, I have a worker with a piece of gas in his hand, but if I tell him to return cargo and then press shift and click on the mineral, he will not go straight to the mineral. Instead, he will pick one more piece of gas and then waste by exchanging it for minerals. However, if I click on the mineral first and without pressing shift, I tell him to return cargo, he will return the piece of gas and then go pick up minerals. Like so. This can be used to transfer workers between bases, which consists of selecting the workers, telling them to go to a mineral in a new base, and then pressing return cargo so that the ones that are carrying pieces will return them first before transferring, or to do a bunker rush or any other type of worker rush and make sure that you do not send workers that have minerals in their hand. This is of course assuming that you have vision of one mineral patch of your opponent's base. Pay attention that you do not send your workers to get gas, even if there's not a refinery available, because the ones that have mineral pieces in their hands will just return them and do nothing. This is unfortunately not possible to use in the reverse order, which would be to send workers from the minerals to the gas. Next, I'm gonna talk about an inconsistency that happens when you tell a worker to follow a damaged unit. In Brood War, when you tell a unit to move towards an allied unit, it will follow it around. However, if you tell a Terran worker to move towards a damaged unit, it will repair the unit and then do nothing. In this case, if you want the worker to follow the unit around after finishes repairing, what you need to do is right click on the unit so it repairs, and then use the shortcut for the move command and kill the move command so that the SCV finishes repairing first.
Right away, sir. Yes, sir. Moving. Proceeding.
Like so.
Delighted to, sir.
This doesn't have a lot of applications in real games, but I thought it was interesting enough to include in the video. So this is gonna be it. Thank you for watching, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.